Hello again, I'm the Madman for FXBGPirateRadio.com. Behind the camera, I got Patrick Swayze. Tonight, I'm telling you the truth about ghosts. Now, you can't talk about ghosts without talking about death. Death, after all, has been a serious fascination among humanity ever since living began. Once living began, people started dying. And you had to do something about that. You couldn't just leave them out in the open. You didn't want to step out of your cave one day and say, "Yeah, honey, some buzzards found the corpse of Steve today. It's ugly." No, they started burying people, and this became sort of like became ritualized and spiritual in many ways, laying somebody to rest. That's why even today, a funeral, it's a big event, And people started wanting to believe that there's something that happens to you after you die. Energy can either be created or destroyed, and we could be something of an energy being, but it's probably just a metabolic chain reaction that gives us energy. I don't really know. But we've had this interest of death, people taking pictures with their dead relatives and stuff like that, and for a long, long time. And because we had this knowledge of our own mortality, we wanted to believe that there's something else out there, and that when we die, there's a spirit of you can hang around, Macy's or something. I don't know. But in reality, there is something known as a multiverse. The concept that there is a series of realities taking place right here, right now. And this infinite number of realities, I'll be standing here recording this same video, and there's an infinite number of videos to actually watch. Who has the time, though? But because of this theory that there is a multiverse, a series of multiple verses in the same reality, or in different realities, different dimensions, if you will, it's possible that humans can perceive into those realms, and that could be what ghosts are, if they are anything at all. But the simple fact of the matter is that most of the time when people say they've seen a ghost, it begins, I was in bed, I woke up, I heard a noise, I walked into the hall, and I saw this, I saw that, Frequently when people dream, they can dream so real, their dreams can seem so real, that they actually believe that really happened to them. And since the human mind has been evolved to seek patterns for eons, your mind will leap to conclusions for you. If you hear hoofbeats, you think zebras, right? No, you think horses. That's kind of the whole point. If you hear a bump in the night, and you go and look for it, either in a dream or for real, your mind could leap to the conclusion like, there's no one else in the house, I don't have any pets, what could it be? It must be a ghost. Your mind recognizes patterns and leaps to conclusions, even if the conclusion is ridiculous. When it comes to these multiverses and talking about how matter can exist in all these different multiple verses, is something of an interesting fact if you know anything about particle physics, things like quantum tunneling and quantum foam. These are, and the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, these are ways to understand the behavior of certain particles, because we have observed some particles who will seemingly disappear. They'll be moving in their valence shell, then disappear, then pop back in where they're supposed to. And since it is actually part of matter, the concept that matter can transverse these different universes gives credence to the idea that people can perceive these other multiverses. And so just a little interesting fact if you know anything about quantum mechanics. Another interesting aspect are ghost stories, fear and fiction. You can have a horrible horror script, just downright rotten, and you could take it to a studio and they might make it just because it's a horror script. If you write a horrible drama or a horrible action, they're not as likely to make it. But there is a whole subculture of horror fans who just love the crap out of the worst horror movies you have ever seen. And so these companies will put money, these film companies put money into horrible horror scripts, knowing that people will eat it up. You know, that's because like ever since the campfires began, people are telling ghost stories, because it's very primal. Fear is primal. And that's why it's very powerful in fiction. And so people kind of want to believe that. They want to believe that there is a ghost out there, some other world that's going to happen, we're going to encounter when we die. One of the funniest aspects of the whole ghost thing is like ghost hunter shows where a team goes in, they take temperature readings, they talk to their voice recorders, and just film dust in the air and say, look, oh, it's ghost orbs. And it's just so horrible. And they're like, well, we didn't get much when we're all hanging out together, so now we're all going to split up to different rooms and start banging on pipes and stuff like that. And just saying, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Go film that area over there. That's a creepy looking chair. I just don't know. Another aspect of like ghost tours, if you've ever seen one of these places where it's like a historical site where this supposedly been haunted by this spirit, you'll come in and they'll spin you a fanciful tale of intrigue, what was going on. The ranch hands were doing this, and they didn't know what to do about the beautiful wife of the very rich man they're all working for. I mean, it is just such a gorgeous yarn. You should go hear it. But, know that they're just trying to get, your dollars. People are spinning this story, this bullshit, and hoping you're going to buy something. Doesn't have to be the bullshit, but, maybe a souvenir. Anyway, when it comes to the truth about ghosts, they probably don't exist. And if what we do perceive as ghosts, if anything, it's like some other dude walking in another reality, walking by, hey, yeah, I'm looking for my car keys, you seen them? Who knows what they're seeing over there in comparison to what we can see here. But the fact of the matter is that you can find whatever you're looking for as long as you focus on it hard enough. And that's the truth.